Hey guys, Gavin and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are doing the big project I talked about in my NASCAR 7 video. So I call this the NASCAR 3-team season. The main premise of it is that there are only 3 teams, and a couple interesting things is in this there are 3 manufacturers, 1 manufacturer per team, or 1 team per manufacturer. So you have only 3 teams, 1 for Chevy, 1 for Ford, and 1 for Toyota. But I decided to make things a little interesting. Why not have different manufacturers? Because why not? So it's still going to be the same it's still going to be the same manufacturers, but a different manufacturer, if you catch my drift. So instead of Chevy, it is Cadillac. So Cadillac will be replacing Chevy. Replacing Ford will be Dodge. Replacing Toyota will be Honda. And I thought, since we have a new manufacturers, why not pick what the cars are going to look like? So for Cadillac, they will be driving the Cadillac CT5V. For Dodge, they will be driving the Dodge Charger. And Honda will be driving the Civic Type R. Alright, so now we get to one of the probably the most interesting part of this season, which is each team has 4 cars. So there are 4 Cadillacs, 4 Dodges, and 4 Hondas. But each team has 16 drivers. 4 cars and 16 drivers? How does that going to work? Well, let me explain. So, in NASCAR, if you're a NASCAR fan like me, you know that there are 4 distinct types of tracks in NASCAR. You have the super speedways, which are your long 2+ mile tracks, which are Daytona and Talladega. Then you have your intermediates, which are your 1.5 and 2 mile ovals. A couple examples are Kansas, Texas, Las Vegas, Auto Club, and Michigan. And then you have your short tracks, which are tracks that are usually less than 1.5 miles, ranging from 0.5 mile to about 1.3 miles. Some of those include Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, and Darlington. And then you have your road courses, the 4th and final type of tracks. And these are your tracks where we break the cycle of turning left and turn right. Some of these tracks are Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Road America, and Circuit of the Americas. So, for each each manufacturer has 4 cars, like I've said, but I decided to give them numbers because why not? And each number has some sort of history or significance to it, to the manufacturer that it's for. Cadillac is replacing Chevy, Dodge is replacing Ford, and Honda is replacing Toyota. Okay. So Cadillac's 3 numbers are the number 3, made famous by Dale Earnhardt. The number 5, which is what Rick Hendrick says is the most important or the leading Hendrick Motorsports car. You have the 24, made famous by Jeff Gordon, and the 43, made famous by Richard Petty and Richard Petty Enterprises, or Richard Petty Motorsports. Dodge has the number 4, made famous by Kevin Harvick and some other drivers. Number 17, made famous by Matt Kenseth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 21, made famous by the Wood Brothers. And the 22, made famous by multiple drivers. I'd say most prominently Joey Logano. Alright, and Honda has the number 16, which is I don't have much for why this is here. At some point I just got to where I think this was like one of the only there's maybe one or two numbers that I've just put in here because I wanted to have at least one number from each of the 3 series. So that's why the 16 is here. The 18, made famous by Kyle Busch. The 20, the number 20, made famous by Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth. And the 23, which is significant to Michael Jordan, who has teamed up with Denny Hamlin to make 2311 Racing. And they are driving the number 23. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the teams here. Alright, so the Super Speedway team. Oh, and how this is going to work, the 16 drivers are divided among the 4 types of tracks. So your 4 best intermediate drivers are going to go race at the intermediates. Your 4 drivers that are best at the road courses are going to go to road courses. Best at super speedways are going to go to super speedways, and the best at road courses best at short tracks are going to go to short tracks. So that's pretty much what we did here. So for the super speedways, for Cadillac, driving the number 3 is Jordan Anderson from the Truck Series. Driving the number 5 is Justin Haley from the Xfinity Series. Driving the number 24 is William Byron. And driving the number 43 is Alex Bowman. Alright. Moving on to the intermediates. Driving the number 3 is Tyler Reddick from the Cup Series. One thing you will notice is each car and each type of track will have at least each type of track will have at least one Cup Series driver for that team. So Cadillac for intermediates will have at least one Cup Series driver because Cup Series drivers are usually the best drivers. So I thought that made sense to have at least one Cup Series driver per type of track. Driving the number 5 will be Kyle Larson. Driving the number 24 will be Justin Allgaier from the Xfinity Series. And driving the number 43 will be the 2020 Truck Series champion, Sheldon Creed. Moving on to short tracks. Driving the number 3 will be Kurt Busch from the Cup Series. Driving the number 5 will be Tyler Ankrum from the Truck Series. Driving the number 24 will be Brett Moffitt from the Truck Series, moving on to Xfinity. Driving the number 43 will be Zane Smith from the Truck Series. And finally, moving on to the road courses, driving the number 3 will be Rafael Lassard from the Truck Series. Driving the number 5 will be AJ Allmendinger from the Xfinity Series. Driving the number 24 will be Chase Elliott, the 2020 Cup Series champion. And driving the number 43 will be Noah Gragson from the Xfinity Series. Now, moving on to Dodge. Now, for Dodge at the super speedways, driving the number 4 is going to be Brad Keselowski. Driving the number 17 will be Johnny Sauter from the Trucks. Driving the number 21 will be Ryan Blaney from Cup. And driving the number 22 will be Ryan Newman from the Cup Series. Moving on to the intermediates, driving the number 4 will be Kevin Harvick from the Cup Series. Driving the number 17 will be Chase Briscoe from Xfinity, going on to Cup. Driving the number 21 will be Matt Crafton from Truck Series. And driving the number 22 is Joey Logano from the Cup Series. Moving on to the short tracks, driving the number 4 will be Grant Enfinger. Driving the number 17 will be Cole Custer. Driving the number 21 will be Matt DiBenedetto. And driving the number 22 will be Eric Almirola. Moving on finally to the road courses, driving the number 4 will be Tony Stewart. Each team, actually, I think only 2. Only 2 teams will have drivers that are coming back, just because I literally ran out of drivers. It's either bring back like Tony Stewart or use a back marker from Cup. And it's like 7, right? And it's like 5 races, so it's not. I don't think it's that bad. Driving the number 17 is Ben Rhodes. Driving the number 21 is Riley Herbst. And driving the number 22, your 2020 Xfinity Series champion, Austin Cindric. So now we move on to Honda. Driving and the Super Speedway team. So driving the number 16 for Super Speedways is Denny Hamlin. Driving the number 18 will be Matt Kenseth. He's come back for the 4 Super Speedway races. And when it came to Toyota, I was really scraping the ball. I was trying to find every single Toyota driver in the entire sport. There's barely any. There's a couple drivers you might not even know of, because there's so little Toyota drivers. Driving the number 20 is Josh Bilicki. Driving the number 23 is Daniel Suarez. Actually, he's going to Trackhouse, isn't he? So he would be technically Chevy. Huh. Oh well, it's too late now. Moving on to intermediates, driving the number 16 is going to be Austin Hill. Driving the number 18 is Kyle Busch. Driving the number 20 is Harrison Burton. And driving the number 23 is Matt Mills. Moving on to short tracks, driving the number 16 is Stuart Friesen. Driving the number 18 is Daniel Hemrick. Driving the number 20 is Ty Gibbs. And driving the number 23 is Bubba Wallace. Now finally, moving on to the road courses for Honda, driving the number 16 is Martin Truex Jr. Driving the number 18 is Brandon Jones. Driving the number 20 is Christopher Bell. And driving the number 23 is Ryan Sieg. So, with all that out of the way, So at any given time, there will only be 12 drivers on track. For super speedways, the 12 drivers that will be racing are Jordan Anderson, Justin Haley, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Johnny Sauter, Ryan Blaney, Brian Newman, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, Josh Bilicki, and Daniel Suarez. So there you go. All right. So the season was based off of the 2021 Cup Series season, with some minor tweaks, like moving maybe some unneeded second races and replacing them with tracks. I think would be cool to have a race in 2021. All right, so we're gonna start with speed weeks. I'm not gonna do the All-Star race, but I just wanted to do speed weeks because why not? All right, so starting with speed weeks. Speed weeks will not be run on the road course because I forgot, but it'll be run on the tri-oval, and it'll be won by Josh Bilicki in the number 20. Then the duels on Thursday night. Duel 1 is won by Matt Kenseth in the number 18, and Duel 2 is won by William Byron in the number 24. So now it is the Daytona 500, the big, great American race. It's your average Daytona 500. And once again, for the third year in a row, Denny Hamlin will win the Daytona 500 in the number 16. Oh, and we are doing the playoffs because I don't feel like. I mean, I haven't said this, but determining the winner of each race took a lot of time. Like I said, I have been doing this project for 3 days straight. Like 3 out, I'd be working on this like 4 hours at a time. So that's 12 hours total that has been put at this. Because for every race, I went back to the last two races for each driver and saw where they finished and took their average finish, and the highest driver with the lowest average finish would get the win. All right. All right. So, okay. So for the playoffs, we're gonna have the round of 10 since there are 12 cars. Since there are 12 cars, I didn't want every team to be able to make it, so I did the round of 10. Just so not every car would make it. And then second round is going to be the round of 8, so 2 cars will be eliminated. And then the final round will be the round of 4, so 4 cars will be eliminated. And then those 4 will go to race at Phoenix for the championship. All right. So with Denny Hamlin's win in the Daytona 500, that 16 team is locked in to the round of 10. All right, so next race, we go to the Daytona Road Course. And so the road course drivers are on the track, and this race is won by Chase Elliott in the number 24, giving the 24 a lock in the round of 10. All right, so next week we go to Homestead for the Dixie Vodka 400. I was just waiting to look down and see that my mic was turned off, and then I was actually going to cry. So we are here at Homestead for the Dixie Vodka 400, and according to the statistics, last of the previous two races for each driver, the driver with the lowest average finish is Tyler Reddick, and Tyler Reddick would win the race with a 1 second lead over Kyle Busch. And Tyler Reddick gets the number 3 to victory lane and gets them locked in to the round of 10. So next race is at Las Vegas, which is the Pennzoil 400. And this race is won by Austin Hill in the number 16. Number 16 team is the first car to get multiple wins. First win with Denny Hamlin in the Daytona 500, and second win with Austin Hill at Vegas. So now moving to Phoenix for race 5 at the Fan Shield 400, and this race is once again won by the number 16 team as Stuart Friesen brings the number 16 Honda Type R to victory lane. See, this number 16 team is already setting a statement here in the NASCAR Cup Series for this season. And it is interesting. So Stuart Friesen wheels that thing home, as just in the first 5 races, the number 16 team has won 60% of the races. Alright, so next we go to Atlanta for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500, and this race is won by Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Dodge Charger. So, thanks to Kevin Harvick, Dodge gets their first car into the playoffs, and it will be the number 4. So it's kind of a relief when when one driver gets a win, because all 4 drivers of a car, let's say the number 3 car, Jordan Anderson, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Rafael Lessard are the 4 drivers that drive the number 3 car. So if Jordan Anderson wins, the other 3 don't have to worry as much about winning, because Jordan Anderson already got that car locked into the playoffs. So it's interesting to see 4 drivers work together as a team for one car. Alright, so next we go to Bristol for the Food City Dirt Race, and this race is won by Kyle Larson, just because out of all these drivers, he is the one with the most dirt experience. It was close between him and hold on, wait. Hold on. Okay, so I'm a bit confused because looking at this, Bristol would be for the short track drivers, but I gave Larson the win. I don't know. I'll just say that I'll just say Tyler Ankrum gets the win, because why not? Because same number. I don't know. Or I could just make up a thing where each team put out one driver to race. I don't know. Anyways, the number 5 team wins. Tyler Ankrum gets the win at Bristol, locking in the number 5 team in the playoffs. Alright, so moving on to race 8, we're going to be running the Blue Emu 500 at Martinsville, which is won by Zane Smith, driving the number 43. So the number 43 Chevy gets locked into the playoffs, which means all 4 Chevys where all 4 Cadillacs have been locked in to the round of 10. So next race, we go to Gateway, or Worldwide Technology Raceway, for the Toyota Owners 400. And this race is won by Sheldon Creed, driving the number 43. So that number 43 team gets back-to-back wins at Martinsville and Gateway. So now, after Gateway, we go down to Alabama for the Geico 500 at Talladega, which is won by Justin Haley in the number 5. So now, we go to Kansas for the Superstart Batteries 400, which is won by Matt Crafton in the number 21, locking in the number 21 Dodge Charger into the playoffs. So now, after 11 races, only 3 playoff spots remain. They're closing up, and they're closing up fast. 3 spots left, with only 5 between 5 cars. Alright, moving on to race number 12, we go to Darlington for the Real Heroes 400, which is won by Kurt Busch in the number 3, getting the number 3 car, their second win of the season. Now, we go to Dover for the Dryden 400. Winning the race, driving the number 5, is Kyle Larson. So Larson gets that number 5 car, their third win of the season so far. Now we got a Circuit of the Americas. Now this one wasn't as easy to pick a winner for. I'm pretty sure for this race I took the 2 most established. I looked at, I think it was 2020 or I don't remember. I think I just ended up picking two of the best road course drivers, doing a coin flip, and the winner of Circuit of the Americas is Austin Cindric on the number 22, locking up the number 22 Dodge in the playoffs, leaving only 2 spots after 14 races. So now we go to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, and this race is won by Justin Allgaier in the number 24. So Justin Allgaier gets his first win, but it's not the first win for that car. So now we go to Sonoma for the Toyota Save Mart 350, and this race is won by Martin Truex Jr. in the number 16. Number 16 getting their first win since Phoenix, which was race number 5. And they get it on the race number 16. So moving on to race number 17, we are at Nashville for the McDonald's 500, and this race is won by Joey Logano, driving the number 22. Still, we only have 2 spots left in the playoffs for the taking. Now, move on to race 18 at Pocono for the Organics 350, and this race is won by Kevin Harvick in the number 4. Next race, we go to Chicagoland for the Camping World 400. I'm sorry, I had to have Chicagoland on here, and after looking at all the data for all these drivers, Kyle Larson is the winner after having an average finish of 2 after the 2 most recent races at Chicagoland. Because in the last 2 races at Chicagoland and Cup, he finished second. And after looking at the average finish of the other 11 drivers for the intermediates, Larson had the highest average finish of 2. All right. So Moving on to Road America for race 20. And this race is won by Austin Cindric in the number 22. Next, we go to the second Atlanta race for the Quaker State 400, and this is won by Justin Allgaier in the number 24 car. Still, after 21 races, still two spots left open. We haven't had another team win in a while. Now we go to New Hampshire for the Foxwoods Resort 301, and this race is won by Kevin Harvick. Now for race 23, we go to the Go Bowling at the Glen, and this race is won by Chase Elliott. Next, we go to our second road course in a row as we go to Indianapolis for the Big Machine Vodka 400, and this race is won by Austin Cindric. Next, we go to Michigan for the Firekeepers Casino 400, and this race is won by Kyle Larson. Alright, so next we go to Daytona for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 for race 26, and this race is won by Justin Haley, driving the number 5. So now, for race 27, only 3 races away from the round of 10. We go to Darlington for the Cookout Southern 500, and this race is won by Cole Custer in the number 17, which means the number 17 gets locked into the playoffs. So Dodge now has all 4 of their cars in the playoffs, which means the last playoff spot will go to a Honda. So, as Cadillac and Dodge have all of their cars in the playoffs, Honda has 1 car in the playoffs, so they're going to end up having 2. But it's going to come down to which one gets there first. So now, going to race 28, we are at Richmond for the Federated Auto Parts 400, and this race is won by Grant Enfinger in the number 4 car. And now, for the final race of the regular season, we go to Bristol for the Bass Pro Shops night race, race 29, and it is run by Brett Moffitt in the number 24 car. So now we go to... Now is the start of the round of 10. So we picked the team that did the best without winning a race, and this would go to the number 18 car, which consists of Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Daniel Hemrick, and Brandon Jones. So they all get lucky, I guess. I guess they didn't get lucky, but even though they didn't win, they still did well enough to get the final playoff spot, as they are the only team in the playoffs to not have a win. So, before we start the round of 12, I want to read off how many wins each car has, so you have a scale of how well each team has done. So, the number 16 Honda has 4 wins. The number 24 Cadillac has 5 wins. The number 3 Cadillac has 2 wins. The number 4 Dodge has 4 wins. Number 5 Cadillac has 6 wins. Number 43 Cadillac has 2 wins. Number 21 Dodge has 1 win. The number 22 Dodge has 4 wins. The number 17 Dodge has 1 win. And the number 18 Honda has 0 wins. So the leader in wins is the number 5 Cadillac. So now we start the round of 12, or the round of 10, with race 30. We go to Las Vegas for the South Point 400, and this race is won by Chase Briscoe in the number 17 car. So next, we go to Talladega. We go back to Talladega Oh yeah, and Chase Briscoe locks that number 17 car into the next round for the round of 8. So we go to Talladega for the Yellowwood 500, which is won by Alex Bowman and the number 43, locking the number 43 in the round of 8. Next, we go back to Charlotte for the Bank of America Roval 400, which is won by AJ Allmendinger, driving the number 5 car, which locks the number 5 into the round of 8. So the other 5 cars that made it in on points are the number 16 Honda, the number 4 Dodge, the number 24 Cadillac, number 3 Cadillac, and the number 18 Honda. I don't know how, but they've slowly snuck into the round of 8 without any wins. Maybe they can break through here and make their way to the final 4. Because I know if they do, they have that number 18 team has Daniel Hemrick to race up the short tracks. Ooh boy. Alright. So next. So for the round of 8, to start off the round, we go to Texas for the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500. And this race is won by Kyle Busch in the number 18 car. So the 18 somehow sneaks its way into the playoffs, then sneaks its way into the round of 8, and finally they get a win to lock themselves into the playoffs, being the first into the round of 4. So that number 18 car is going to go fight for the championship. So next, for race 34, we go for the running of the Hollywood Casino 400. We go to Iowa, which is won by Brett Moffitt in the number 24, locking in that 24 car into the final 4. With only 2 spots left, this Martinsville, our next race is a driver's final chance to win a race to make it to the final 4. So here we are at Martinsville for the Xfinity 500, which is won by Grant Enfinger in the number 4 car, as Grant Enfinger will lock the number 5 car into the final 4, leaving only 1 spot left. And performing well like they have done all season long, the number 5 car will get into the championship 4. So your championship 4 are the number 18 Honda with 1 win, the number 24 Cadillac with 6 wins, the number 4 Dodge with 5 wins, and the number 5 Cadillac with 7 wins. So now we go to Phoenix for the Phoenix Championship Race 400. And this race is won by Zane Smith in the number 43. But Zane Smith, congratulations, he gets a win. But the focus is on the championship 4. So all race long, the race starts with Daniel Hemrick on pole. To his outside, in the number 24, is Brett Moffitt. The second row in the number 4 car is Grant Enfinger. And starting 4th to the outside of Grant Enfinger in the number 5 is Tyler Ankrum. So those are your championship 4 drivers: Daniel Hemrick, Brett Moffitt, Grant Enfinger, and Tyler Ankrum. So all day it is a battle of it's a battle between the championship 4 for the lead constantly. So when it comes time for pit stops, they all come in on the same lap. And at the end of stage one, Tyler Ankrum is your stage one winner. Now in stage two, Brett Moffitt and Grant Enfinger make a little contact, which makes the number 4 car get a tire rub, which could have very easily ended their day if a caution had not come out and allowed them to come down pit road without losing a lap. So we get back green, and immediately on the restart, Stuart Friesen spins the tires and gets into Kurt Busch, and both of their days are ended. And at the end of stage 2, Brett Moffitt is your winner. So now we go to stage 3, which is a long stage. And at the halfway point, Tyler Ankrum and Grant Enfinger come in early. Meanwhile, meanwhile, Daniel Hemrick comes in about 5 laps later, and Brett Moffitt stretches it, coming in a whole 11 laps later than Grant Enfinger and Tyler Ankrum. But at the end of the race, with 2 laps to go, it comes down to the championship 4. So coming into turn 1, Daniel Hemrick has been the championship driver that has been behind the other 3 all race long. So going into turn 1, he dive bombs the turn, gets ahead of the other 3, but comes up and catches the front of the number 4 of Grant Enfinger and puts both of them in the wall, ending their chances at the championship, which leaves the battle to Grant Enfinger to Brett Moffitt and Tyler Ankrum, the 2 Cadillac drivers in the final 4. And going into turn 3 for the final time, Brett Moffitt sticks it low and trying to go low, he goes too low and goes below the white line on the apron, and the car spins around on him, and Tyler Ankrum will cruise to a 3rd place finish, and he will win the championship. So the number 5 Cadillac is your championship car, which means your 4 champions are Kyle Larson, Tyler Ankrum, Justin Haley, and AJ Allmendinger. And it is a great celebration. The first time we've ever had 4 champions in NASCAR. It is a great celebration, one for the ages. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. There were some times where I got tired of making it because it was just taking so long, but I stuck through it and I made it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was really cool. And so yeah, I want to thank you. If you want to see more like it, let me know. If you have any ideas for any cool NASCAR seasons you'd like to see, put them in the comments below. And like the video if you liked it, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.